What's up, guys? Nostal-Gi-Oh here, back with another Master Duel tier list. I hope you guys aren't tired of the tier list. Also, my voice is like completely gone, so you have a soft, somber Nostal-Gi-Oh talking today. Anyway, today is hand traps for Master Duel. This is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a little while now, and I hope this isn't like super outdated. I think we have just about every hand trap that's relevant. So yeah, this is like some random, random guys tier list thing template, but we're gonna do it for Master Duel. And yeah, Master Duel is in best of one, so we are gonna talk about it being bad in a best of one, without the prospect of best of three. Even though a lot of tournaments are currently playing best of three with sideboard, we're talking about purely ranked in their tournaments, which they've made a statement that it's most likely going to stay best of one. So the mindset of best of one really is what I'm saying. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really does make a difference. And of course, use my TCG player affiliate link if you do buy IRL cards, because it costs you no extra and directly supports the channel, and it really does make a difference. And look at that, we even have on brand ads today. Look at that. Anyway, let's get into it. So first off, yeah, look at this guy. Whoa, what must have. Ash is a really, really impactful card in the game. Also, by the way, MAXX isn't on here, and we're just going to go ahead and nip that in the bud right now. It's a must have. That is very, very obvious, in my opinion. Put that guy right there in the must have. MAXX is a must have. I'll make a little point of that in the comments. I'll probably pin a comment just saying, hey, MAXX is a must have, no doubt. But yeah, Ash, the main reason it is a must-have is because it is an out to MAXX. That is honestly the biggest reason. I think every deck should be playing Ash at 3, just about. I have no voice today. Just about every single deck in the game, I think, needs to be playing triple Ash, just because of MAXX. Now, the only deck that I have not even, cared about Ash in is Card of Demise True Draco, and that's purely because, the best times that they can ever use MAXX is for an Upstart Goblin. So if you're going to do that, I don't care. I'm not going to Ash an Upstart Goblin anyway. But every other deck that I've created, every other deck that I've seen, should probably be playing triple MAXX, triple Ash, triple double called by, just as the MAXX and the anti-MAXX. But it is nice that, Ash obviously hits everything else in the game as well. Just about, your opponent goes Pot of Extravagance, draw 2, oh, Ash that. Desires, draw 2, oh, Ash that. Any starter in your deck, oh, Ash that. There's so many things. Ash just has so much usage, and it's a very solid card. But honestly, its biggest thing is MAXX. But even without that, it's still a very, very relevant card. I mean, even in the TCG with no let's Ash is one of those must-have cards, and it's just very good. Ghost Bell. Let's talk about Ghost Bell for 1 second. So the best decks, Virtual World, Drytron, and Tri Brigade, Eldritch Striker. Honestly, this card has a little bit of a hit in just about every one of those decks, and I think this card's not bad. But if you're going for an ultra rare, especially if you're factoring in budget, if you're going for ultra rares and just playing hand traps in general, I don't think I'll be using this card very frequently. So honestly, like, we could add it to like under solid. Maybe there should be another. I'll add another one actually. Add a row below. Right under solid. Not bad, but not played. And that's just, not bad, but not played. That's pretty perfect, because this card, like, it's not really worth putting a slot in your deck for, because it does have like as many applications as it has. It also has so many irrelevant matchups, right? So you play against Eldritch, it hits Sanguine, crazy, right? You play against Dogmatica is not that big in the game, but you play against Invoked Dogmatica and they go Nadir Servant, and you're like, oh, I can Ghost Spell that. You can Ghost Spell Invocation. You can Ghost Spell the Prank Kid cards. You can Ghost Spell Tri Brigade's banished for cost, so you can't hit those. Revolt. You can Ghost Spell Revolt. You can Ghost Spell a lot of really relevant cards. And my song just stopped again. Why does it keep doing this? Man? What are you doing? I listen to the same song. Let's do it. You can Ghost Spell a lot of cards in the meta, and I think it's not bad, but not really worth a slot. But I don't want to call it bad in best of one, or just I don't know why you're using this card, or solid, because you know it's not one that I'll consider really, unless I'm playing like a 15 hand trap deck, and even so, I'm probably not gonna play Ghost Spell still, which is unfortunate, but I think that's gonna be the case. So not bad, but not played. Next we have Contact C, and I don't know why you're using this card. This card is only going to be good for some random cards. Yeah, this card is weird. If you don't even know what this does, that's probably fine. Really what it does is when your opponent activates like is it a spell or is it a monster effect? I honestly am not 100% sure. It's been a very long time. But essentially it puts itself on the board, on your opponent's board, and they can't do anything with it. What is the stipulation for summoning it? Contact. Okay, well that was bad. That was just stupid. Contact. There we go. So yeah, this card you have to, when your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you can special summon this card to their field, and then they cannot use, they can't fusion, they can't exceed, they can't synchro, they can't link without that card. But most decks play like a link that can use that card. The only thing that I can think of is, what level was it? 5? Level 5? It's level 6. Never mind. I was going to say the only thing that I can think of is like Virtual World. It's level 6. It's fodder. You're literally giving them a body. Every relevant deck like doesn't care about it. You put it on Drytron's board. They link it into an IP. You put it on Tri-Brigade board. That one might be a little annoying because if they already used a Tri-Brigade effect, they can't link with a non-beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast. So that would be actually a little unfortunate for that deck. But it doesn't have an application in very many matchups. This card is unbelievably situational, and in a best of one format, unbelievably situational is not what you're going for. So this card is just, it's not there. Now this one is, we have to add another row, and this is going to be the, whoops, I added 2 rows. Okay, this is going to be only in a deck, or 2, because it can fit in Thunder Dragon too. So this card, Dimension Shifter, only in a deck or 2. The only decks that are using this right now is Madolche, maybe Mono Thunder Dragons, and then when we get the Fluandereeze strategy, then we'll be able to use it in there as well. But that is it. That's all that we can use this card in. You can't slap this in Drytron, you can't slap this in Tri-Brigade, you can't slap this in Virtual World, you can't slap it in anything. It's just a really weird hand trap. It's like oddly specific, and you just can't really put it in any of these decks, right? So it's only in a deck or 2, and that's just the case. Next we have DD Crow, and DD Crow is not bad, but not played. But I like almost want to give it solid. I think so for now, not bad, but not played. But when we get cards like DPE, and when people start doing Artifact Scythe shenanigans, when we get all that stuff, maybe we'll put it to solid. But for now, not bad, but not played. It's really not a bad card. It's really not a bad card. But it's not as good as the other ones, right? It just isn't. I'm not going to consider DD Crow 9 out of 10 times. It's just not what we want. And my voice, I'm sorry, my voice is it keeps cracking and stuff. I have no voice today. I yelled a lot last night. You know, doing stuff with the boys. We just ganged up. So what am I supposed to do? Next we got Droll. This is bad in a best of one. I'm not gonna lie. So me and one of my friends, we talked about this card. This card is an out to MAXX, right? Your opponent goes MAXX, you go Droll. They get to 1 draw. They got their 1 draw, and then you can continue playing. But you're now under Droll. This is both players. So if you're playing a deck that needs to search, needs to continue going through MAXX, Droll can't be an out for that. But Droll's also really good in a lot of matchups, but it's also not that good in a lot of matchups. You play it against Virtual World, yeah, it's not bad. You hit the Lulu, they can't Queen Long Search, they probably can't draw off of their, you know, Krako or the Stardust Charge Warrior or Coral Dragon, anything like that. But that's only really stuffing 1 or 2 cards, and when you're only stuffing 1 or 2 cards, it's not really worth the hand trap. It's good against Drytron, it's not that good against Tri-Brigade. It's good against Alistair deck. It's not that good against Eldritch, right? So it's just, it doesn't seem like a good card in a best of one format. But if you're talking side, it's a must-have in the sideboard. But purely best of one, this card's just not worth it. Bad in a best of one. Evenly matched is a weird. Only in going second strategies. That's weird. That's weird to even consider it a hand trap. It makes sense. You activate it from hand going second, but it's not like a reactive card on their turn. You go second, you go enter the battle phase. You know, it's a little weird, but that card's definitely solid, and a Ghost Second Strategy is good. I don't know if I really like Ghost Second Strategies in general, but if you play a Ghost Second Strategy, it's not bad. Next is Gamma. Gamma is solid. I know it's unfortunate that it's a 2, but it's still not bad in my opinion. And me and one of my friends, we talked about this. Maybe we would play, if you play the 2 Gamma, maybe even play, slap a Delta in there, the spell in the gate. Just so you're playing 3, to offset your brick, your good card to driver ratio. But yeah, since the card's at 2, that definitely takes a nice little hit off of it. But Gamma's very good. It can't be played in every single deck very efficiently, but it can be played in a lot of decks efficiently. Obviously the Drytron can't play it. A lot of decks that can't really play it because their starter is a normal summon. But imagine playing Tri-Brigade, normal summon Rescue Cat, activate its effect for cost, tributing itself for cost. Your opponent goes Ash Blossom, you go Gamma. Now your opponent, loses. It's very strong. And this card can be an out to MAXX as well. You go activate E-Telly. Your opponent's like MAXX, you go Gamma. A lot of different applications. Gamma's an amazing card. It's amazing in the TCG as well. It's just been a very, very solid card for its entirety of being a card. For a while, it was underrated. It wasn't played. When people started to discover, oh wow, this can be played in not Psy-Frame. This is just a hand trap that negates a monster and destroys it anywhere. It's an incredible card. It's an incredible card. It just doesn't must have because it's not be able to play it in every deck. But it's an incredible card for sure. Next we have No Material, and I don't know why you're using this card. This card's weird. It has really niche scenarios that come up every now and again in the format. I remember back in Orcus Lunalight, people were playing this because the Lunalight strategy was just so gross. They would make the Azathoth combo that turned off all hand traps for the rest of the turn. It says your opponent can't activate any more monster effects this turn. So you slap down No Material on their summon, and it was the only real way to stop anything. So you have to do that in certain formats, but this is not the game. This is not the format. This is not the scene for that card. I don't know why you're using this card. Next is Green Light. I don't know why you're using this card. And while we're here, Purple Light too. Honestly, let's be real, man. Orange Light's the only really good one. Orange Light's cracked, man. It stops MAXX, it stops Ash, it stops everything, literally everything. It's double searchable by Eva. It's a discard off ultimateness, and Orange Light's crazy. And while we're talking about these, we'll talk about Orange Light. But that is another one that's only in a deck 2, and the Or 2 is kind of even like questionable. It's definitely playable. It's definitely playable in Gas, in Drytron, obviously. That's the only deck that we see it played in. But honorable mention is Madolche, because that deck is all fairies, and it's very cool to use Orange Light. It's a little costly in that deck because you don't have like Eva search more. And why are you doing me like this? Only one song loads, whatever. Orange Light's cool in those 2 decks, and that's really it. And it's only cool in Madolche. It's obviously staple standard in Drytron, but only in a deck or 2. So that card's cool. Madolche's cool, guys. We can play these weird cards. Like that's cool. Next we got Imperm. And Imperm, I'm gonna put it in must-have. Not that every deck has to play it. Alright, I guess I shouldn't put it in must-have because it's not actually a must-have. It's very, very solid though. And I want to put it above solid, but I don't want to add another tier. But Imperm is a really, really good card. It's just, you can fit it into just about every deck. It's the only trap that is in a lot of decks. And it's the only hand trap that's good going second, drawing it as your 6th card. Because it can answer something, it can at least bait and negate, it can stop something. You're playing against Hero, a lot of the time Dark Law just wins the game, slap it down, your Dark Law sucks now. I probably win. Let's be real. Imperium is a really, really good card. It's good hand trap, you can set it, it can be a spell negate, it's crazy. This card is just really, really solid, top of the solid list probably, incredibly good. And while we're talking about Imperm, we'll talk about Effect Veiler. And Effect Veiler is solid. I'm going to give it solid. And it has its niche applications with Selene. And my voice is gone. It has niche applications with Selene. It has in like the Sky Striker deck. And, a couple of decks can play the Selene Access Code Talker stuff. But yeah, that card's good. It's not quite as good as Imperm. I think Imperm's better. You can set it, which is kind of cool. But Imperm, the real thing is that if it's your 6th card going second, it's a good card. Effect Veiler's not. Effect Veiler does have the application of being light in certain matchups with like in the Dragon matchup, Dragon Link. They can add it off of Chaos Ruler. You know, mill 5 out of light or dark. That's cool. It's also a light, which is just relevant in general for chaos strategies. You know, it's a light that's relevant. It's also really, really good with Nib. If you're playing like Nibiru, Dragon Lake's probably the only deck playing Nibiru like actually right now, unless like just niche people playing Nibiru, which is fair because Nibiru is crazy. But being able to like Nib and then they use their monster negate and you have Gamma or Effect Veiler or Imperium or anything like that, it makes it pretty crazy. I suppose we should probably talk about Nibiru next, and I'm gonna say, see, it's on the fence. It's on the fence of these two. I want to say solid, but in this best of one format, there's so many trap decks and so many situations where this card's just bad. But in the matchups where it's good, it's so good that I want to give it solid. And like I said, the decks that can utilize, you know, Nib Gamma or Nib Effect Veiler, Nib Imperium, anything like that, that's just gross. Like, that is incredibly, incredibly powerful. So I definitely think Nib gets solid. Also, with MAXX, the fact that you can MAXX and then your opponent still goes, hey, oh, I'm still gonna kill you. I'm still gonna win here. They're still gonna just draw. You're gonna draw a million cards with a MAXX, and then you're gonna activate Nibiru. You're gonna draw that card, dude. You're gonna draw that card and you're gonna say, wow, that's cool. I drew the Nib and I get to ruin my opponent's day. They'll probably put up a monster negate at some point. I would hope so. If they're going all the way through MAXX, if you're giving your opponent 15 cards, I would hope you have a monster negate there pretty early because you're probably gonna give them a chance to see Nib. If they play it, they're gonna Nib you. That's gonna happen. So, but yeah, it's still cool. Nib is cool. It's so good when it's good that it's gotta be solid. It's gonna be garbage when it's good and when it's bad, but you know, and it's gonna be a clunk master. I mean, your deck's got to be good to play this card, to be honest, because if your deck needs like way too much, you probably don't want to play this card because it just bricks you up. Anyway, next we got Lancia, and this Lancia's solid. Let's be real, it hits some of the best decks. It hits Virtual World pretty solid. It hits Tri Brigade pretty well. It hits the Alistair deck pretty well. Hits Dragons pretty well. It has a bunch of different matchups, and with Gamma, it's pretty cool. So it has some extra little things. Also, it's light, so you can play it efficiently in Dragons, like I said, with the Chaos Ruler. Mill 5 out of light. Boom, you get Lancia. That's pretty cool. Lancia with Gamma, if you activate Lancia and then the same turn you use Gamma, they stay. You get 2 bodies on the board for free. It's pretty cool. So Lancia has a lot of different matchups. I don't think it's one that I'll consider playing very frequently, but it's definitely a card that in the correct meta, I love that card. It's also really good as PK. That's another deck that's very good that it's really, really, really good against. So you just have, it has a lot of little matchups where it's just big. It's just great. It really is. And there's definitely matchups where it's bad, but this is another example of when it's really good. It's just, oh, it's just so good. So it gets solid. Next we got Ghost Ogre, and this is not bad but not played right now. But if we get the Brave Engine in Master Duel, it'll move up to solid. There's a couple cards that will move up to solid, like the DD Crow when we get the DPE. But you know, we're a little far away from that. You know, maybe we'll see when hey Konami, right? When are we getting these cards, man? Give us new cards, man. Come on. Fix the rank system. Give us the new cards. They're really dropping the ball on Master Duel. I'm not gonna lie. I love it. I'm loving the game. You know, you did a lot for the channel, Master Duel. But come on, man. Give us the new cards, man. Come on, man. Anyway, yeah. Ghost Ogre's not bad, right? Ghost Ogre is it's not the worst right now, but when we get the Brave stuff, it's gonna be good. It hits that stuff really well. It has you know, niche scenarios in every matchup, just about where it's really good. Just like Ghost Bell, right? Hit Meltdown, hit Tenki, hit the Brave stuff, hit Lunalight Tiger, hit a lot of stuff. Walking Guys, it hits a lot of Walking Guys. Hawk, hit Hawk so that they can't summon or you know, they still summon the 001, but now they can't summon into Auroradon instantly. It just has so many good matchups or so many niche scenarios. It's just solid. It deserves a not bad but not played in a best of one scenario, and also just in the format right now. But this card will come back into format for sure, and that's what this format or that is. Not bad but not played. It'll come back. Phantasme. It's so niche, dude. This is funny because these cards are just so good. But Phantasme is really niche. Let's be real. Especially in a non-Master Rule, format. In Master Rule 4, sure, right? That card was cool. Everybody had to make a link to do anything, to do multiple things. But in the current Master Rule and stuff, nah. There's just too many decks that don't really care, right? You'll activate it against some decks and feel like, oh, I'm on top of the world. But a lot of decks, it'll just sit there dead. And this is another one that can almost fit in only a deck or two, because it's a light dragon. Dragons can play it. They can search it with Brotar. But I still don't think they're going to be playing it in this game. I think you'd rather just search like a real card, right? You usually search Levy with that play. So I don't really see it being that good in a best of one. But it's a good card. And I mean, same with Droll. Like, these cards are amazing, but not right now. And not in a best of one. Cherries is weird. Cherries is a card that I don't really think I'd feel good playing right now. But in a best of one format, it's just not good. But in a best of 3 format, once again, this card could be solid. If you don't know what this card does, you can discard it, send a card from your extra deck, look at your opponent's extra deck, and rip any copies of that card from their extra deck. Card's gas. Card's really, really good when it's good. And it's cool because the card's just it's so weird. But you do need a little bit of game knowledge and deck building. But honestly, decks that play this, they can only play this if they don't really need their extra deck because they're just not using it. And Fluanderies, that deck could play it. Eldritch could play it maybe, but like honestly, I'd rather have extra deck options for Eldritch. The rank 10 stuff, the rank up, rank 10 stuff, rank 5s, Natisses, cards to send off the Dogmatica punishment. There's just so many things. I probably am not going to ever use Winter Cherries, but I don't want to give it. I don't know why you're using this card because that card's gas when it's good. Like in a format where that card's good, and a format that's really not broad. This format's broad because we have a lot of things you can play, but in a format that's not really broad, not really a tier 0 format, but a tier 1 format where everybody's playing 1, 2, 3 decks, that card's pretty cool. So, I'm not going to give it good right now, but it's definitely good. But in a best of one, I don't know, man. I would want to side that card. I don't think I'd want to main that card. You play against so many weird things. You'll play against True Draco and Eldritch and stuff, and it'll just be a dead card. I just wouldn't want to main it, but it's not a bad card. Contact C is cool, but it's not what we want, right? Contact C, you can special summon it. It's Macrocosmos, and then which is cool. But then, your opponent, a lot of people don't care about that card. And it restricts some random stuff. It restricts, like, fusion summoning, or, like, special summoning from a spell card. I have to read this card again, real quick. So, of course, Wikipedia is going to add me when I have to read. Come on, man. Get off the screen. We're doing content, homie. You know that. Come on. What's that card? Retaliating C. No, not Wiretap. Why did I click on that? Retaliating C. During either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell card that includes the effect that special summons a monster, special summon this card, and then while this card is face up, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. So it's Macrocosmos. And then it also has a cool little floating effect, and you can add 1 Earth Insect monster with 15 or less attack. MAXX. MAXX, anybody? So that's cool. Retaliating C is definitely a cool card. It's really niche. So I definitely would not want to play it in this best of one format for sure. And I wouldn't even put in like bad but not bad but not played because there's just not many decks that would care about it. Honestly, fusion stuff is cool. Shadow, Invocation, they go invoke, they banish their guys. Now they can't. Invocation, put it back to just get a free Alistair. It has a lot of really cool scenarios that it comes up for, but not just bad in a best of one for sure. Skullmeister, not bad but not played. Nobody's playing this card, but it's good. It's a good card, and it's an SR, which makes it a lot cheaper. But I know we're not factoring in budgets. This is purely, hey, how good is this card? But it's not bad. It's not bad but not played. But that card, honestly, it has more like scenario. Like this card has come in and out of the format unbelievable amount of times in TCG, in current TCG. It just comes in and out. It just leaves and comes and goes as it pleases. It really does. And I like that because that card is good, but it's weird and it's niche and nobody really plays it because there are better cards. All of those cards in Solid I'd probably rather play those cards. But these two are kind of situational. They're kind of weird. And I very rarely would main these cards in a best of one format. But like we said, they're so good. Yeah, all that stuff. But these cards, you know, these 4 in the MAXX, these 5 is gonna they're gonna fit into so many decks that's really where those cards land. Like these deserve like a situational like tier, but I don't really want to add one because it's kind of weird. I hope you guys are alright with that reasoning. And last one is Token Collector. You're not playing this card, but when we get Sword Soul, I rest my case. When we get Sword Soul, that card will be, it'll move up to bad and best of 1. You're still not going to play it unless Sword Soul is just like best deck, and it's not going to be the best deck. It's going to be one of the best decks for sure, but it's not going to be the best deck, the deck to go for. So you know, it's just, why are you using this? But then it'll go to bad and best of 1 because it only hits really one deck. And it hits a couple other niche scenarios, but it hits that deck. Let's be real. Anyway, that's really it, guys. That's really all I got for you today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I don't think I missed any hand traps, but if I did miss any hand traps that you guys are like, oh, you missed this hand trap, comment it. You know, comment it down below, and I'll go down and I'll say, oh yeah, here is where I would put it. You know, stuff like that. And of course, MAXX and must have. Let's be real, must have, obviously. Anyway, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. It really does make a difference. TCG Player affiliate link. Well, it's in the description down below. You can just click on it, shop, check out, and it helps. It directly supports the channel. I appreciate it. Anyway, that's gonna be it. Have a good week and goodbye.